All right, Sandy, you're up to bat.
Now, also in your bag, you have this coin. It's in a little violet pouch and in a plastic container, and take it out if you will. And you see on one side is the G for your goal, and feel how nice and smooth it is. You want to keep this in your pocket. It says, my desire is moving into form. That's on the G side. Now on the E side, that's your environment, and feel how rough that is. And it says, choose your friends wisely. Now I want you to think about that. We're going to get into the ABCs of goals. But if you come up with a goal here that is a C goal, then most of the people in your life outside this seminar room are not going to be in harmony with your goal. So if you look at the 5 people you spend the most time with and you look at their results, your results are likely to be very similar. But because we become what's going on in our environment, the people we spend time with. So if you come up with your goal and you move towards your goal, you're going to want to carefully choose the people you hang around with. Like Phil's accountability group. You know, they're all feeding each other. They're all holding each other accountable, helping them move forward. I wish I had an accountability group back when I went to that first seminar, because it was rough. And so if things are becoming rough in your environment, keep focused on the goal. And if you need a reminder, take this coin out of your pocket and just feel the rough side and then feel the smooth side. And you'll find as you move down this path of going after a big C goal, you're going to reshape your whole environment, including the people that you spend time with and what you attract to you. So this is a really great tool.
Thanks, Sandy. You also have a goal card. I love the quote on this card. It's by Earl Nightingale. He said, this great dream, this surging, dynamic thing invisible to all of the world, except to the person who holds it, is responsible for every great advance of humankind. We put this in a plastic sleeve for a reason. You can carry it loose in your purse or your pocket. I've been carrying this one with me for quite a while. I've been carrying a gold card since 1961, 61, 62, 61. Okay. Everywhere I go, I've got this. Now, why do we do it? Well, first of all, your goal should be written in the present tense. That's why we start it for you by saying, I am so happy and grateful now that. So everybody starts their goal the same way. I'm so happy and grateful now that, and then you write your goal in the present tense. Here's what you want to grasp. The second you decide on a goal, you can see it in your conscious mind. If you can see it in your mind, you've got it on an intellectual level. The second you turn it over to your emotional mind, that's the feeling side of you, you've got it there. Emotionally, you're involved with it. The only place you haven't got it is on the physical plane. And that is because a period of time must elapse before that idea will move into form. Okay? All seeds have a gestation or an incubation period. Now, we know what the gestation period is for most physical seeds. For spiritual seeds, and that's what an idea is, we don't know what the gestation period is, so we guess. So you can put a date, but understand you're guessing at the date. You don't know how long it's going to take to move into form. I've had to change my date 3 or 4 times, all right? I have missed a goal by a year. I'm missing it by more than a year right now. But that's what this goal card's for. Here, Andrews, you can have 2. Whoop, there you go. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to flip through these slides quickly, and then I'm going to ask you to take each page 6 through 12. Not right now, after we go through the slides, and I want you to discuss each one of them. The 6 phases. The first phase is you've got to decide, who am I? See, it's you going for the goal. If you don't even know who you are, you're going to have trouble. And that's why most people have trouble. They've never even figured out who they are. They think they're their name, or they think they're their body. You're not your body. You've never heard anyone say, am hand. You've never heard anyone say, am leg. We say, my hand, my leg, my name, my body. Who am I? It's a good question. Where am I now? Where am I now? You're going to know where you're at right now. Next one, where am I going? These are basic questions. Think. 6 phases. Who am I? Where am I? Where am I going? These are so simple, hardly anybody has the answer to them. Then your critical choice. What is your critical choice? That's the target you're going to be shooting at. Then you've got to see that it can be done. How are we going to know it can be done? It's by gaining an understanding of the laws, a serious understanding of the laws. You will know it move into form. See, there's one thing that Sandy has going for her, Phil has going for him, Bob's got going for him, for me, is we don't wonder when we set a goal if it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. How do we know? We know from past experience. You just do this for a little bit of time and you will know. You won't wonder whether it's going to happen, you know. Now, the people around you may not know. People around you may think you're a little strange. People around you may think that you're really, stretching it. I was going to Malaysia one time. I was running back and forth between Kuala Lumpur and Toronto every month for about 5 years. And as I often mention, it's 25 hours in the air one way. If you go any further, you're coming back. It's as far as you can go from Toronto without coming back. So it didn't matter which way I went. Sometimes I go through LA, sometimes I go through London. I go around one way or I go around the other way. It didn't really make any difference. It took the same length of time. Well, why am I even telling you that? Oh, yeah. I spend time on the plane working with ideas or numbers. Well, on this one plate, I wrote down a 1 and 6 zeros, $1 million. And I had earned $1 million a long time before, and I thought, what's so different about people that earn millions of dollars and people that think it's your fantasy? What is the difference? And it suddenly, I was playing for quite a while before it dawned on me. They don't just have one source of income. They have multiple sources of income. I didn't come up with multiple sources of income right away. I have many, a lot of sources. And I narrowed it down. We eventually called it MSIs, multiple sources of income. Well, then I thought of some other people that I knew that had earned that kind of money, that were in this business. And I thought of Mark Victor Hansen. And so I got into Kuala Lumpur, and I phoned Mark. I actually woke him up. And I got him excited. I said, why don't we run a program where we teach people how to earn $1 million by setting up multiple sources of income? God, he loved the idea. He later told me he couldn't go back to bed after that. Well, we did, and we called it the $1 Million Forum. And that's where the chicken soup for the soul books came from. We were teaching people how to originate an idea and turn it into $1 million. Well, I remember he came to me and he said, we're going to write books. He said, you got lots of stories. Give me some stories. So we give him some stories. And he said, we're going to sell this book. We're going to sell 50 million before the turn of the century. I think it was around 1991 or 92. I've forgotten when it was. And I thought, this guy's smoking something. Now, mind you, we're teaching people they can do anything. And yet I'm thinking, he is nuts. 50 million. And if you sell 1 million books, you're doing well. Well, they didn't sell 50 million. They sold 72 million, and it's gone on to sell over 1 billion books. They ended up selling the whole company for many millions. And I learned then that whatever you think, there was no limit. So it was a great lesson for me way back in the early 90s. All right? Anything you think of, you can do. So you got to understand it can be done. Now, how do we understand that? Well, what you want to do is relate to nature. You're part of nature. You're God's greatest form of creation. There's nothing that will equal you. Now, you're going to find all kinds of people. They go to their church, they go to their temple or their mosque or whatever, and they say, oh, yeah, it can all happen. But they don't really believe it at all. And they say, God, please help me. God ain't going to help you. It's been written that God will feed every bird, but he doesn't put food in the nest. You got to do it. You've been given the tools to do it. So it's not good enough to get on your knees and make a noise. You got to understand. Prayer is the movement that takes place between spirit and form with and through us. All things are possible. No limits. Yet can be done. And then the manifestation is paying the price. You got to pay the price. If you don't pay the price, you're not going to get it. You've got to pay the price. Now that's the bottom line. If you're not prepared to pay the price, you're not going to get it. It's that simple.